Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to our next episode of Owls in Virtual Flight, the conversation series where we discuss matters relating to the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm Jana Brady. I'm a geography lecturer at Southern Connecticut State University, and I have teamed up with Southern's Office of International Education to moderate this series. Today, we're going to revisit a favorite subject here at Owls in Flight, food. Every culture has its own relationship with food, and it's very much a part of the reason why we love international experiences. Many of us have become really adventurous during lockdown, trying our hand at preparing new foods from other cultures, while others have looked at food from their own culture to kind of reconnect with it in some ways. Today, I'd love to hear all about your culinary adventures during lockdown. I'd also love to hear about traditional food and the experience of preparing it and eating it in your home. Tabia, can you start us off?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so hello guys. Yeah, I am Tabia from Shanghai Normal University in China. So today I'm going to give you guys a brief introduction about Chinese food. I'm going to share my screen. So then my brief introduction will begin. So the first PowerPoint is about the staple food in China, and as you guys see on the left of the PowerPoint, there is a line between the north of the China and the south of the China. So basically, these two parts are having two different kinds of staple food. So in the north, people usually tend to have like buns and noodles, which are made of flour, and in the south, people like me just would like to have rice. Okay, and then I'm going to introduce about the 8 regional cuisines in China. Here is a map of China, and I listed the 8 regional cuisines. They are all named by their provinces, like Shandong cuisine, Anhui cuisine, Cantonese cuisine, Sichuan cuisine, Jiangsu cuisine, Hunan cuisine, Zhejiang cuisine, and Fujian cuisine. So because I am a girl who comes from Hunan province, so then I will give you a brief introduction about the Hunan cuisine, and some of the dishes are really my favorite. I and my family really loves to eat those kind of dishes. As you can see in the map, there are really a lot of Chinese food that are really delicious. So I hope that if you guys really have got a chance to go to China, you could definitely contact me, and I can be a tour guide and introduce those delicious food to you. Okay, so the third page is about the Hunan cuisine I would like to introduce. The first one is fried pork with green pepper. As you can see, pork and pepper are the main ingredients. And you put the oil with the onion and with some spices, so you can make dishes like this. And the picture on the right corner is chili fish head, is another well-known Chinese Hunan cuisine. And because my hometown is near the Dongting River, so there are a lot of fishes there, and the chili fish head becomes one of the main dishes people like to order when they are having, dishes in a restaurant. And the third one is braised pork. And actually, there is an interesting story behind these dishes. I am wondering whether you have know about the chairman Mao Zedong in China. So basically, this dishes is named after him, and in Chinese, it's called Mao Shi Hong Shao Rou. Okay, so that's my brief introduction about Chinese cuisine. I hope you guys just enjoy it. And actually, I always want to know about how British brunch is. So I would like to give it to Katie, and could you just introduce that for us?
Yeah, thank you so much, Tabia. That was so cool. And to be honest, I think my foods, what I'll describe now, will be probably quite boring compared to them. But I think in England specifically, we're so lucky because we have so many cuisines. We can kind of delve into different cuisines whenever we like, so to speak. But like I really like that presentation because like Chinese food over here, I think we've kind of turned it into like our own, and it's not like authentic Chinese food. So I would really like to try real authentic Chinese food once I ever manage to get to China. Yeah, but in England, I think it's probably just going to fit the stereotype, which is fish and chips and scones or scones, depending on how you pronounce it. So we have chip shops, which are like super famous all over England and the UK. And they sell what we call chippy chips and chippy fish. We shorten a chip shop to chippy. It's kind of like slang. And they sell like battered fish and just I can't like chips, but they do it in a specific way. It's usually got like salt and vinegar on, and you can usually get like pies from there, sausages, mushy peas, just quite easy fast food. But I do anyway. I know that my family does. You crave it a little bit because it's kind of your norm and what you're used to, and then yeah, the only other thing I could think of, which is typically British, would be scones, which is, like, sorry, I haven't got a presentation like Tabia. Everyone knows what fish and chips looks like. Scones are like a kind of cake, with raisins or sultanas in, and you can have either butter, cream, jam on, usually on the scone. And they're really lovely and they go very nice with a glass of tea. But that is like super stereotype for British. Me personally, I'm actually a vegetarian, so I eat fish though, so I'm pescatarian. So I don't know what food I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. My favourite food. But no, I'm excited to find out about everyone else's. I think this is one that we're all hyped on. I think food definitely unites us. So yeah, anyone else willing to share theirs?
Katie, first of all, I actually went to London when I was studying abroad. I had fish and chips, really good. I enjoyed it. So that's like the most famous dish over there. Every country I travel, I always wanted to know like which country has significant for food. So I always try that food. Definitely visited there. For my, I would talk about biryani. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. So biryani is like a traditional rice that is cooked in a lot of Middle Eastern countries, sort of like a spicy rice which it originated back in long time ago back in India. So the way it's cooked is pretty much you have a bowl of rice and then you put some sort of ingredients inside of it that makes it a little spicier, and then combine it with the chicken. And when you combine all the chicken plus the rice plus all those ingredients on the side, it it formulates a yellow color of rice, which is typically spicy for a lot of people, but there's two different ways about you could cook it. You could also add some dry fruits in it just to change the taste of it for people who don't like spicy stuff. You could also add vegetable potatoes inside. It really depends on who is interested in what ingredient of biryani. So that's pretty much what I've been eating during this past few years. Actually, one of my favorite dish. There's 7 different dishes that it's being cooked in Asia, but this is definitely one of my most favorite dish. I just had biryani this morning, actually.
Hello. So, I don't know how it was for you guys, but here, like, especially our grocery stores, we're kind of just like wiped clean of everything. So I'm a vegetarian too. So like a lot of my dishes are like fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. And so I was really excited to use quarantine to kind of like try new things because I feel like during school I kind of just like meal prep and do like the same things because I just like quick and easy because I don't have a lot of time. And so that was kind of unfortunate because like you would go to the grocery store and like everything would just be wiped out or like what they had left wouldn't be like really good quality. Um, so that was kind of unfortunate because, you want to try all these new dishes and you can't because there's nothing there. But in terms of like regular food, just kind of like classic American, like I love pizza. But I also think it's interesting to like I mean, I know that we kind of take the authentic cuisine from different countries and kind of Americanize it. So it would be interesting to, you know, like with you were presenting in China, to like go there and have like the authentic Chinese cuisine compared to how we have it here in America.
So, hi guys. Here in Chile, the typical food is related to the era of independence with the Creole customs of a Spanish mixture and of the Mapuche people and other aboriginal cultures of South America. We have a chorizo that is like a sausage that's called longaniza, and that can be mixed with grilled meat, potatoes in water, different salads and accompaniments. For example, we have a food that's called pebre, and it is tomato chopped into squares with chopped onion and coriander, a little lemon juice, and oil and salt. You have to mix it up, and then you can put it on the bread or on the meat. It's tastes delicious. In this time, the first things that crossed on my mind was cravings. Um, I imagine that my stomach needs, and then I see what I had in my fridge. Um, but mainly, I start with dishes that I had already considered from before. Then I started investigating the traditional food of my country, and now I already practice international gastronomy.
Okay. So from Armenia, we are actually very, very rich with our traditional food. We even have the tradition that during the Armenian weddings, Armenians love barbecue very much. And during the Armenian weddings, we also have a song dedicated to the barbecue. So when they are bringing barbecue to the to serve to the guests, there's a song that is played and people dance at this song. So it's kind of our tradition. But the food that I would like to present to you is actually jengal of huts. It's called jengal of huts. What it means is a bread with jengal. Jengal, it's a type of a green. Armenia actually is very, very rich of with a lot of greens. And so in this dish, we include about 20 different types of greens, and it's kind of baked in with flour. So you create a thin layer of bread, and you put all of the greens inside of it, and then you bake it. But it's not baked in the oven; it's baked in the hot iron, kind of a steel, no steel. So it's very, very hot when you are doing it, and we have a tradition of gathering all the family and baking it together, because it requires a lot of effort, because you have to clean all these greens and you have to wash them, then you have to chop it. So it's at the end you have like a big bowl of these different greens, and all the flavor and the scent is inside the house. So it's really it's really juicy. As you yeah, it may seem that it isn't, but it's really juicy, and it's really great because you can drink it with you can eat it with wine, and the taste is very good. It's actually very good for vegetarians. So and it is one of my favorite dishes, which is specifically cooked in my region, which is arta. So that's it.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Lopez study at the University of Recent Cape. So the food I would like to talk about, um, I kind of try to create a little presentation now. Thank you for the idea. I'm trying to see how to share my screen. Okay, so this is the food that I love. Um, First of all, my favorite and my family's favorite is called the pochi, which is like a family gathering meal that can feed. I would say the small pot can feed about up to I think 10 people. Um, so you put it on coals, and you add some meat and vegetables and um, some like flavors, whatever you feel like having in there. Um, and then yeah, you just let it cook softly and stuff, and then obviously have some nice rice with it and stuff. But this is like my absolute favorite that I normally would like to have at family gatherings. Let me see, and then we have the Gatsby, which is like a bun filled with fries and meat or what anything that comes to mind, eggs, meat, um, Viennas, whatever you can think about. So we normally have this when we about like say about 5 people and we're really hungry, but the money is not all there, so you can't go have like this big meal at the restaurant or whatever. We buy this Gatsby. It's way bigger than what it looks on here right now. But yeah, we have this. They cut it normally in pieces, and I would say about 3 bites you'll be full. Which is actually good because you don't actually waste money. It's relatively cheap and feeds a lot of people, and you go out feeling full, so you're never hungry after this. It will take you a couple of hours to be hungry again. Um, and then we have what's called a bunny chow, which is like a whole bread that you don't cut up in slices. Um, you cut the bread in half and then you scoop out the inside of it. Then you can make curry and then just put it all in there. Then that's what you call a bunny chow, which I haven't had this that much, but I've tasted it a couple of times and it's really good. We just don't make it that much, but this is like the kind of food that I would say that South African people love to have. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and thank you for listening. If there's any questions you that you need to ask.
The bunny chow looks amazing, Nicole. I'm actually so hungry now looking at it. So I've actually got a question now that you've said it. Would you eat like the whole dish of that? So obviously is it like half a loaf of bread that you would kind of scoop out? I mean, I guess obviously it's not that much if you think about it because it's just the outer layer of it. But is that like one meal?
That would be one meal, and it's just like half of the bread. So you cut the bread in two, and then you scoop out the inside, and then you fill it up with the curry that you make, and that would be like a meal on its own. But it's very fulfilling. My favorite part is the Gatsby, of course. Things are like food like that.
That's an interesting name, actually. When you said Gatsby, I thought of the book, The Great Gatsby.
I think most people would think of the book, The Great Gatsby. And when I
What does,
search, excuse
is
me,
it something specific? Does the name mean something else, or it's just something like you came up? What does the Gatsby mean?
I personally don't know the history of behind the name. Um, but as I grew up, I only know it's the Gatsby. If you talk about the Gatsby, you talk about this big meal, this big like fun thing you're gonna have now, you know. But I personally don't know what the history, and I should actually go look that up. What's like the whole meaning behind the Gatsby?
I think if no one's gonna kind of go, right, I actually was thinking like while we were doing this, I thought there's got to be more British food, and I had a little search, and as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh, of course, I've like missed out so many typically British foods, but that's probably because I don't usually go for them all. We have another one called bangers and mash, which the bangers are sausages. So it's kind of just like a plate of mash, and usually peas are on it, and then sausages with just kind of like a load of gravy. So it sounds quite disgusting, to be honest, while I'm describing it. It looks nicer than it is. I mean, I would usually have it with veggie sausages if I was gonna have it. And then another like super typically British dish is a Sunday roast. It's like a roast dinner. But I think it came from a Christmas dinner. Like I'm not sure whether you guys have like a typical Christmas meal if you celebrate Christmas. And we kind of have like, it's called a roast dinner, so it's usually got a meat on it. I usually have a substitute meat, a load of veggies, maybe like carrots, peas, broccoli, cauliflower, roast potatoes, and a Yorkshire pudding. If no one knows what a Yorkshire pudding is, it's kind of like a puffed pastry. I'm trying to describe it with my hand. It's probably unhelpful. And again, we would usually have like gravy on that. And I think I don't know if it's got any religious connotations, which is why it was called a Sunday roast. Maybe it was like after mass on a Sunday. But now I think it's kind of evolved, and you kind of have them whenever. Like I might have like a roast dinner on like a Wednesday or a Friday. It's not really like specific to having it on a Sunday anymore. So yeah, they're just like two more examples that probably quite important ones I forgot about.
Fabio, is that your name, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So you were talking about the chili fish and stuff, right? So I'm not a one for like spicy food, but it does actually look really nice, and I would like to know like the spices that go in it, and like on the scale of 1 to 10, how spicy is it?
So you want to know the scale of this, how spicy food can be?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually there are a lot of range because some people in Chongqing, the city Chongqing, and in Sichuan province, they can really eat, how to say, it's extremely spicy food. But those people like in my city in Shanghai, they can you hear me right now?
Yeah, okay.
Can you see me? Can you see me, guys? Actually, I have turned on my camera.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was
My
continuing to.
camera is giving problems early.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of a huge amount of scales of spicy food, and people in Shanghai tend to like eat sweet food instead of spicy food. So there are a lot of provinces, and they have different, how to say, tolerance of the spicy food. And I was just sharing a picture in the chat. I'm wondering whether you can see it. Well, so it's basically a hot pot. I believe that some of you have know about Chinese hot pot. Maybe you have got a chance to try it. So it's like a round pot, and you can choose the spicy one or just a normal one, and you can put everything into it and just boil it and then have it. So even though if you are a vegetarian, you can put vegetables into it instead of meat, so you can enjoy it no matter you are a vegetarian or a meat lover. And everything you like, you can just put into the pot, and there are different flavors of it. Like they're making like, yeah, some of them are bone soup, and some of them are just a spicy soup. So yeah, that's a kind of traditional Chinese food that, especially when we are gathering for a family union, like family, how to say, party, we will go to have a hot pot and we just talk and communicate during the hot pot, and it's really fantastic.
So you say that Shanghai prefers sweet food over like spicy food. So I guess I have to go to Shanghai because I like sweet food and not spicy food.
Oh, really? You can definitely come to Shanghai. You'll have a chance to eat a lot of sweet food instead of the spicy one. If you like the spicy one, you can go to other cities to have a try.
But I think I'll stick with Shanghai. I think that's the best for me. Anyone else have an idea? Like, do you guys like spicy or sweet food?
Our cuisine actually is not so spicy, so we usually prefer more like sweet food. But I'm actually really kind of eager to try Chinese food right now because in my region we don't have like restaurants where they serve Chinese food. So basically we have some European food and some like our traditional ones. So I would be really, really happy to taste all these different dishes from all of your countries because these seem to be very, very tasty. Uh, and I was actually wondering because I have never heard about any such thing. Do you have any like desserts, traditional Chinese dessert or British dessert or uh, South African? Because I actually left sweets as well, so I was kind of wondering if you guys have something like that.
Okay, so if you want to know about the dessert in China, so basically the dessert we are having right now all came from, how to say, Western countries, like the cakes, the bread, and we do have, I believe that we do have some traditional dessert, like, how to say, it's a kind of wine that is made of rice. So we use the special techniques to do that, and we will put some, that is rice ball made of flour, and to put it to combine it. I cannot show you a picture right now, but it's like a kind of special dessert we will have in China, apart from those cakes and breads like in which came from in Western countries. How about South America? Oh, South Africa. Sorry. How about Nico? Do you have any desserts? Like you say you like sweet food.
Yeah, I don't know actually how to pronounce it. I think we say sahu, but some say like sago or something. But it's my favorite, and I like it. I'm trying to get a picture for you guys. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture. So I'm gonna see if I can share. So this is it. This is my favorite. When I went home for the holiday, I begged my aunt to make it for me, and she actually did. Um, it's like as you can see, like it has like so the ingredients they have here is not what my auntie made them with or made hers with. Um, but it's usually some jam in there, some apricot jam and stuff. And it's really sweet, but let me see. I'm trying to get back. Okay, it's really sweet, and like anything that's sweet, I would eat. And then obviously I would go with like some chocolate ice cream that goes with it, or like something for custard and stuff. But yeah, anything that's sweet and if your country has it, then you might as well invite me because I love sweet stuff. But yeah, so what about in Britain? In Britain, do you guys like what's sweet there that I can come taste?
No, I'm like so in agreement with you right now. I have like the biggest sweet tooth ever. My family like often shout at me because I just bring like bags of sweets home and I kind of hide them. Um, I think probably our main one is Victoria sponge cake. which supposedly is named after Queen Victoria, which would kind of make sense, which is just like a classic vanilla sponge cake with cream and jam in the middle. So in a way, it kind of sounds like a giant scone. Maybe that's where the idea came from. I don't know. So that's like our classic, and then I think we probably love like a pie, a sweet pie. So maybe like apple pie, banoffee pie. You could get like blueberry pie, kind of. You know what? We probably take the savoury things from a chip shop and turn them into bigger versions of sweet things. This is what this is sounding like right now. So I don't know, but yeah, I think we have very not like bland cakes, but kind of not super extravagant with like a lot of ingredients. Probably maybe just like your average cake and then add like some fruit to it. One is a carrot cake. I don't know whether that's British, to be honest, but it is kind of everywhere. So there is carrots in that, except it's not like you're eating a vegetable in a cake. But that's interesting actually, because one of the things I actually tried to make carrot cake cupcakes during lockdown for my grandma. It was her birthday. And they turned out great. I was like so impressed because like I'd never made cupcakes before, and they were so nice. And I was like really shocked because when making them, you have to grate something like 8 carrots. And I was thinking, this looks disgusting. And you mix it up and it's all gloopy. And I was like, wow, this just isn't going to be nice at all. And they turned out amazing. And then I tried to just make it plain vanilla cupcakes, and they were an absolute disaster. They like flowed over the cupcake thing all over the oven. So yeah, quarantine's been fun and experimenting with dessert, but I'm not yet like, I don't think I'm going to be a chef after lockdown is ended, to put it that way. But yeah, what about anyone else?
I don't know you guys, but here in Chile, it's 8:30 in the morning, so I think that I will eat all your presentations.
Well, it's lunchtime in South Africa, so I guess I could go up and put you or something. So I want to ask something. If you ever travel abroad or like outside of the country, and what was the favorite, like, what was your favorite dish you had in another country or even in another state or whatever, outside of like your hometown that you can maybe tell us that you haven't had before and was like your first time having it?
So, for example, for my boyfriend's birthday, I made a Toriyana. That is a typical food from Chile. The Toriyana is a dish that consists of a base of a fried potatoes, and then you have to make a volcano formed in the center with all kinds of meat: pork, beef, chicken, some sauteed vegetables, and caramelized onion. Then you have to choose sauces, and on the top of the volcano you have a fried egg. That is Chorayana.
So I went to the US. Um, was it last year or the year before? I don't know. Lockdown has got me all confused with the years and dates. Yeah, but I've always wanted to try like apple pies, as you mentioned earlier, and blueberry pies and all that. I thought it was gonna be like sweet, sweet, but figured it wasn't for me. Not that I hope I'm not offending any Americans at this point. I'm sorry. Yeah, it wasn't for me. What I did love while visiting the States was the bagels, and it's something called the everything bagel or something, which was like my favorite, like I couldn't get enough of it. And also I think it was like a Thai food restaurant with the I know we don't know how to call this, but yeah, it's like spaghetti and then like with veggies and sour sweet flavor like sauce to it, which I'm kind of having in South Africa now because when I came back from the States, I was like, I need to find a Thai place and I need to like keep this going. But yeah, something sweet that I did love. I don't know what's it called. Um, but it's like this long thing that's like on a stick, and then you can top it like chocolate sauce or whatever. Any Americans can help me with that name. Um, has like some sugar on it, I think. Not sure, but yeah, that was like my favorite stuff that I had in the U.S. Anyone else would like to share their food experience in another state or country?
I think when you travel, like that is literally the most exciting thing about it. Like I think personally, like trying all the different types and um like the cuisine to that region. Obviously, Tabia like kind of give us an overview of all the different cuisines in different regions in China, which was so cool. One thing I remember was I volunteered on a placement in Sri Lanka in 2018, and we stayed in a place called Homagama, which was kind like by Colombo, but totally like nothing like the center of Sri Lanka. It was like off the beaten track kind of thing, and some of the dishes there, which I actually think are like well known all over Sri Lanka, not just there. There was something called roti. I don't know if anyone's heard of that, which is like kind of like a pancake, but it's not sweet. It's actually really spicy, depending on. I think you can get it in different like different spice levels. So I think you could get meat in them or vegetables. I like went for the vegetable one, and they were gorgeous. They would come in like little triangle pouches, and they sold them in like all the little shops, like wherever we would go, and they were just really handy to like nibble on at lunchtime. And another dish which was absolutely amazing was called kotu, which is Kottu. And that's like it's a rice dish, but it's mixed with vegetables, but it's kind of stuck in place, if that makes sense. It's not like loose rice. The rice is like fixed together. Um, and sometimes you could have cheese on it. And when we saw it on the menu, we were all like so excited because it was just the best. And I think I really missed it when you come home. I think um I could probably try and recreate it, but I'm sure it would be nothing like the ones I received in Sri Lanka, so I haven't yet attempted it. But they were ones that like I always remember really stuck out to me.
So I have kind of similar experience as Katie you had, because I have tried to recreate the food that I ate, but it was kind of very very bad because you can't just recreate it. So where the food that I was like lucky to taste was the Italian food actually. As you know, their cuisine is kind of immaculate. So I have tried their pastas, pizzas, all the desserts, and actually after visiting Italy, when I came back to Armenia, I couldn't eat ice cream and pizza because it wasn't the same taste. And for like a year, I didn't try any of those. And one that I also really really liked was the Georgian food. Georgia is a country near to us. I don't know if you may know or not. So it's not the state of Georgia; it's the Georgia country. Uh, they have this food which is called Khachapuri, and it's like it's really really it's a cheesy thing, which is baked again, and it's like very tasty. They have their own type of cheese which is called suluguni, and they make it out with that. So obviously I couldn't recreate that as well because we don't have that cheese. in our country. And I actually kind of tried to my culinary skills this during the quarantine, and I have baked apple pie with cinnamon, which didn't turn out well. But the other one that I tried was another pie with jam, with apricot jam, native Armenian apricot jam, and it was really good. So it motivated me to continue to try, but I don't think that is my future. So that's not definitely not my career.
Go hard. That's so interesting that you've just said that because I actually did my Erasmus in Italy for a year, and when I came home, I was literally like, I'm never eating pizza or pasta again. It's never going to be the same. Or drinking Aperol Spritz. I was just like, it's not the same over here. So it literally, I know exactly what you mean. And I was going to say, when you were describing like that bread that's like traditional in Armenia, it reminded me of focaccia. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure if you had that when you were in Italy. I know it's like quite typically Italian. It's like a flavored bread. And I wondered if you'd tried that and whether it's like similar or totally different to the bread that you were describing. And also if you have a picture of like your traditional bread and how you spell it, because it really sounds amazing and I really want to make it or try make it.
I will actually share with you a video when they are making it. There was some tourist who came visited Armenia, and he was actually involved in the preparation process. So that's I will share with you. But I don't think it will be similar to that Italian bread, but because it's kind of baked in a different way, and it's really unique. I haven't tried anything like that in anywhere else, but I'm sure that you will like it because it's really, really tasty. And if you ever manage to come to Armenia, you can always contact me and I will make a tour for you, all of you guys. You are always welcome.
Thank you.
Ashley, I haven't heard an Emma. Is Emma here? And Ashley? Sorry, I say Ashley.
Hello. So actually going back to what you were saying, Nicole, I think what you're thinking of is a churro. Was it like covered in cinnamon and like yeah, those are really good. Um, but yeah, I mean we have like a lot of like sweets and bakeries here. I love chocolate, so like anything like chocolate cake, chocolate brownies, like chocolate cookies, like anything I'm down for. Quarantine was definitely like big baking time. Like I feel like everybody I know is making like banana bread and stuff like that. If you tried to go to the stores to get like flour or sugar, like everything was sold out because everybody was just trying to like bake everything. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'd say we kind of just have like a lot of the like traditional like cakes and cookies and brownies and cheesecakes and ice cream cakes and really there's something for everybody. But like we were saying with like apple pies and like stuff like that, I don't love those. That's like a big like Thanksgiving. We usually have like fruit pies, like apple pies and stuff like that. um I like chocolate pie, but the apple pie, the only way I'll eat apple pie is if it's like really warm out of the oven and if you like cover it with whipped cream. But yeah, there's a lot of different options here in America for desserts, so you really can't go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, your pizza there is also amazing. I forgot to mention the one thing that is actually good. Like they are not playing around. When you look at like the movie and you see like the big massive pizza, it is kind of like I'm not saying they are not lying, guys. It's really big and it's really delicious. So, which is also one of my favorite things there. But yeah, actually, would you like to mention like another place that you went to, like another country or whatever food like that you loved?
Yeah, so I was actually studying abroad in Scotland, and like the big thing there is haggis, but that has meat in it, and I'm vegetarian. But I tried a vegetarian haggis, and it was actually really good. And then the other thing I loved over there, which Katie was kind of talking about, which they kind of have in Scotland too, is the breakfast. Like, I love breakfast, and I am so hungry in the morning, and the breakfasts there are just like huge. Like, they have the sausages and then like hash browns or, you know, some sort of starch, and then they have the eggs. And like when I was like flying home, I got it at the airport, and it was just like the best thing because it was so filling and there was so much food. And I like sent a picture to my family, and they were like, "Yep, that's definitely something you would eat in the morning." But yeah, that was an interesting experience.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I did say the full English breakfast is what it's called. That's definitely one. And it's actually really funny because I think we can't obviously it's like typical breakfast things like sausages, bacon, eggs. Sometimes you have like tomatoes.
Yeah.
But we kind of just put it all together on one plate, and it's like, yeah. Maybe it came from the idea that we have that in the morning and then the roast dinner in the evening, and you're like good to go for the week then. If that's your Sunday, then you're ready for the week.
Yeah, beans, eggs, bread. I think there was tomato, and then like the sausage.
Yeah, and hash browns. I think they're the best.
Yeah.
Katie, you asked about Christmas earlier in South Africa, or was I mistaken?
Sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear that.
Did you ask about Christmas earlier?
Oh yeah, if anyone had any like typical food at like a celebratory time. I know Ashley's just mentioned about like apple pie and things at Thanksgiving. If anyone, yeah, has like traditional food for traditional occasions, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. I don't eat all of it, but we have like the tongue, which is like I don't know which animal, but it's the tongue of an animal that you buy and eat, which is not my thing. You have like the gammon and all that, which is like Christmas kind of food. You go all out with meats and stuff. It's like the table has to be packed with meat and obviously a lot of snacks. So, but yeah, but the only thing that kind of sticks me out is the tongue part. Um, I have eaten it a few times. I'm not lying. Like I say, I haven't, but it's still not for me. Um, Still freaks me out. And I remember I have a friend from the US that came over for Christmas once, and she was like, I think she took a bite and then she asked what it was, and we told her that it was like a tongue of some animal, and she's like, no, I didn't just eat that. Well, I guess she did. It's like she has never touched that again after that. But if anyone else would like to share what they have on Christmas or any other holiday.
So what we also have, and usually during the we don't have the Christmas. So the Christmas during the Christmas we don't celebrate it as big as you do. So we usually celebrate the New Year. And in our New Year dinner, we have a lot of different traditional food. First, of course, we have the barbecue. All of the families have it, and we also have dolma, which is also meat, and it's a really it's baked with cabbage, so it's stuffed in a cabbage or in leaves of the nut tree. So for example the grape leaves. So you stuff it there and then you boil it kind of. I'm not good at explaining it, but it's really tasty. Uh, and also we have pork. It is baked in a different way, so it's with a lot of salt, different sauces, different flavors there, and this is usually like a big part of the how I don't know how do you call it, but it's baked like for 6 hours, and then it's really big part of the pork, and also we have this thing kind of, they are pancakes, but they are not because they are really thin, and these are usually stuffed with different carrots, baked with onion, like caramelized with onion, or with meat, so with different stuffings. I have actually found the picture of the Jenga of hats that you wanted. So if you can see it right now, I'm not sure you can, but this one. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So this is the bread that I've been talking about. It's spelled like this, Jingalov hot, and it's really, really tasty. It's like one of my favorites, actually. And my grandma used to teach me. She was the one that taught us how to bake.
That looks so good.
I would have to agree with you, Katie.
Then I guess we could make it because we've never actually tasted the real one. So even if ours isn't as nice, we'll never know.
I couldn't make it even if I tried. I'm not good in the kitchen. So now you guys know a secret of me. I don't know how to cook. I know how to fry though. I know how to like barbecue, but not cook.
I'm going to throw a question out here. I've been listening, and I'm so interested
Hey,
in hearing
I
about.
got back actually. It's
Oh.
My connection was lost. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. It happens. I'm hearing so much about different foods that we've been able to share, right, with other cultures, and have them been taken and kind of made their own thing. Like I know Nicole has spoken previously about how much, and other people as well, how much they love pizza, and pizza in different places kind of takes on its own regional thing. Maybe that connection comes from a lot of Italian immigrants going different places. What are some foods that are very central to your cuisine that actually have roots in other places that you can think of? What I can think of, I know South Africa, Nicole, do you make something called a slap chip? Can you tell us about slap chips and maybe where that comes from?
Where it comes from? I don't know where it comes from. I'm not good with history.
Influence is from.
Excuse me?
What other country has influenced the creation of the slap chip?
I mean, slap chips is like it's like fries. We call it slap chips. Everyone else calls it fries. It's like all over, I think. But yeah, it's like in if you really don't wanna like cook, we would make like what we call slap chips, and every other country I think calls it fries. I don't know why it's weird. It's slap chips, 'cause yeah, but yeah, we would make that, and so we would buy like a five, and damn, how do I say five, and like each country is like different now. I think it would be like less than what a penny, Gina, or in America. What's a five and worth in America? Probably
A 5
nothing.
cent is probably 30 cents.
30 cents. Damn. But yeah, so we would buy like, which is like 5 potatoes, like a 5 in bag, so to speak, and we would cut them up, and like as you make fries, they fry them in like a pot. So many people do it in a pan, but we do it in a pot, and yeah, put some eggs with it. So you can have that for like lunch or even dinner, which is a big thing in SA. Like even if you go to your friend's house and you're hungry, the first thing that comes to mind would be slap chips, fries. Um, I think everyone loves fries. Yeah. And like we call ketchup tomato sauce, and then everyone else calls it ketchup. Which I was a far weird when I was in the US, and I would say, "Can I have some tomato sauce?" And people would be looking at me weird. And then it hits me like, "Oh, I need to say ketchup." It's like actually just got to my mind now, which is like weird.
I
Like
call
what's
it tomato
ketchup?
sauce.
Oh, you guys also. Oh,
Yeah, I
good.
think it's probably both in England. But one thing I found really funny about what I went to America last year on holiday, and chips is crisps in America, but chips in England are French fries. Does that make sense? Like our whole chip shop, chippies, and like crisps are crisps. So that was like that totally baffled me the whole time I was there because I was ordering the wrong thing. So that was like a huge one, probably the main one. That just like totally baffled me. I mean, it makes sense. I get it. Like, but yeah, because I guess I think it's fries like quite Americanized. We would never. I don't know. Fries isn't like usually a word. Actually, no, because maybe we've got like fast food restaurants like French fries, I guess. But yeah, usually like we would make chips. Like I've just googled slap chips and it looks like them. You know, like kind of thick ones. I guess French fries refer to like the more thin ones. But that's funny. That was definitely one that got me.
I think
And
biryani
then
is another one. And yes, Katie, that was what I was trying to kind of coax out of her. Slap chips, I think, are a very British type of chip. We don't have our fries aren't really like that. We have wild different types of fries in America. We have, your curly fry, we have your crinkle cut, all sorts of fun varieties, but we don't have a slap chip. Um, maybe Nicole didn't get to try every tater tots. We have them in all shapes and sizes. She didn't get to them all, but that's okay. Um, but I think biryani is another one, or biryani. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. That's one that I've
biryani.
heard people from different cultures talking about as staple foods in their own culture. And in fact, Nicole, didn't you say about roti as well that I think Katie had spoke about having? So these cultural connections kind of flow all over. It's very interesting to pick up where these connections are and what kind of joins us together as our food. I guess it's been happening for hundreds of years.
I think Harun spoke about biryani, if I'm not mistaken. Or who was it that spoke about biryani?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So that's normally like that would normally be like a Sunday dish. Um, at us by our house. Um, so if my mom doesn't feel like making like the whole chicken and all that, she would like buy all the ingredients for the biryani, which is like um the rice and the chicken and spices and stuff, and then just mix them all together in like one pot, and there you go. You have a whole meal. And like some pumpkin with it. If you guys do that as well, we add some pumpkin as a side kind of dish to it.
Yeah,
How do you
that's
guys normally do it?
I think it's definitely a great dish, especially when you have a gathering at a house, because it is tend to be a traditional dish. But these days, it's being cooked on a daily basis, specifically because everybody's home right now, so there's nothing else to do but to find ways about how you could spend your time. So my family, I don't cook. My mom, who's specialized in biryani, just makes it like on a weekly basis up, and we invite friends over, family over, and just come and have fun together. That's pretty much it. Have you tried it? Have you ever tried, Nicole?
Biryani?
Yeah.
Yeah, we make it like as I said earlier. We make it like if my mom doesn't want to cook like chicken and potatoes and all that, deep fry all that. Then we have like the biryani. with some pumpkin with it as a side dish, and like it fills you up because you have chicken, you have rice, and all the other stuff that goes in it. So we normally have it. I would say we have it like maybe twice a month.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's actually really big in SA. A lot of people do have it or make it.
Is anyone else like super hungry talking about all this? I'm like,
I am. I am.
Yes. And
Who's been
Leonardo is
thinking?
definitely. Yeah.
Sorry, is that go horse talking?
I was saying that Leonardo is definitely hungry since it's 8 a.m., I guess.
Yeah. It's been so good though. It's been like a lecture on
All the
food. I
time.
feel like so educated.
Yeah.
I definitely want to try some recipes, even though I can't.
Hey, Leo, we've heard about an English breakfast. We've heard about a Scottish breakfast. Can you tell us what breakfast looks like in Chile?
Yes, here in Chile, we don't have a typical food dish or something, but with bread, with butter, and a coffee, some tea, or pancakes or something. But we don't have a typical dish for the breakfast. But the American food is so delicious for the breakfast with the eggs, some with honey. I don't know what it's like a pancake, but it's so typical in North America. I don't know what it's called.
Maybe
Is it a crepe?
Crap. Yes, that sounds great, but I don't need it.
Well, thank you all for joining us today and giving us some inspiration. Um, you know, we have a finite number of food ingredients on the planet, right? There's only so many potatoes, corn, different things, but we've all kind of taken these staple products and put our own cultural spin on them. And I think that's really interesting to think about what maybe something like roti could look like. Is sort of has some different spices in it and a different maybe a stuffing, and it's something completely different in Armenia, but it's the same basic concept. So we think of food as being so incredibly foreign and part of the exotic aspects of travel, but really it's just the same food that we eat reimagined in some new way. So thank you again so much for joining us today. This has been a wonderful conversation. Everybody go have lunch, go have dinner. We will go have breakfast. Enjoy your food today. It was amazing. Thank you for the PowerPoints. Thank you for the pictures. And Gohar, you said that there was a video. I can't wait to see that. We'll post that for everybody to watch as well. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Have a good one.